So let's talk about the parallels between consciousness and the quantum field. Number one, consciousness is a field of possibilities for all potential experiences that by their nature are impermanent and ephemeral and transient and ungraspable and momentary. They emerge, these experiences, in the form of entangled sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. So that's basically what the quantum consciousness model is. Now, when you look at classical descriptions of quantum field, you see that the quantum field is described as a field of possibilities for the impermanent appearance of virtual particles. Observed particles, of course, are experiences in consciousness, space-time events, and they're also sensations, space-time events, sensations, images, thoughts. We infer these fields or these virtual particles, or even the appearance of particles, through sensations, through images, and with refined instruments such as, say, the Hadron Collider. Then we give names such as photons, electrons, quarks, etc. to them. Those names are thoughts, and those images that we see, through these sophisticated instruments, like the momentary appearance of a Higgs boson or whatever else, a quark. Those are inferred images in awareness given names. So that's the first similarity. Second, thoughts and entangled experiences such as sensations, feelings, images, imagination appear and disappear as determined by the uncertainty principle. In the same way, in the field, the quantum field, virtual particles appear and disappear from the quantum field as determined by the uncertainty principle. Number three, thoughts are the confluence of possibility waves in consciousness. And similarly, in quantum field theory, energetic particles called quanta are the confluence of possibility waves in the quantum field. So, similarity number three. Number four, thoughts are energetic fluctuations of consciousness, in consciousness, that appear as space-time events in consciousness. Thoughts modulate what we call genetic activity through epigenetics and modulate metabolism at a fundamental level of biology. The parallel in quantum field, particles are energetic fluctuations of the quantum field that appear as space-time events and modulate themselves as the appearance of atoms, molecules, and the appearance of that which we call the physical or material world. Number five, all thoughts and sensations exist in entanglement with all other thoughts and sensations in consciousness. Matter is a name given by humans to species-specific perceptual activities. The parallel in the quantum field, all particles exist in the quantum field in entanglement with all other particles. Number six, matter is a name given by humans to species-specific perceptual activities. Parallel, matter in the quantum field is emergent from the quantum field. It's a name given by humans to an alchemy of human perceptions and cognitive activity that engulfs all of perceived reality, from the smallest particle to a gigantic cluster of stars and approximately 2 trillion galaxies. The appearance is a human experience from the most microscopic to the most gigantic, ultra microscopic to massive, ultra gigantic. Number 7, local realism. Local realism is the view that physical objects exist independently of our perceptions of them. This is, of course, impossible to prove. And in the understanding of consciousness, it is clear that consciousness is a non-local, formless, borderless, infinite, imperceivable, unimaginable, timeless, spaceless, irreducible, and without cause. A field that is impossible to imagine, but the source of all imagination. Now, the parallel to that in quantum field theory suggests that space-time is emergent from a non-local source. In other words, no location in space or time can be fundamental reality. Number 8, consciousness self-organizes into experiences, every experience. The parallel, quantum field theory suggests that space-time is emergent from a non-local source. In other words, no location in space-time can be fundamental reality. Okay, I've already said that, but just to complete it, the quantum field appears to self-organize its emergence as the theater of space-time and causality. Number 9, if consciousness is non-local and all experiences are entangled, then a consciousness-based model of evolution becomes possible, since evolution in this model would be guided by consciousness through epigenetic activity and not a result of chance mutations and natural selection. I think natural selection still applies, but chance mutation may or may not apply, because epigenetics actually organizes, in a way, mutations through on-off switches, such as methylation and deacetylation, etc. In parallel, quantum field theory offers a model of evolution that is self-organized as the recycling and evolution of space-time as the evolution, recycling and evolution of space-time, but also information, energy, and matter. This is what we call the recycling and evolution of the universe. So let's keep going. Number 10, consciousness recycles and evolves as biological organisms and their experiences, because biological organisms are, again, the modulation of consciousness experiencing itself as the biological organism. The biological organism is like an instrument for species-specific experiences. Parallel to that, the quantum field is also recycling and evolves as biological organisms and their experiences. Number 11, the universe is a human construct in non-local awareness. In other words, there's no universe. It's a construct in non-local awareness, an experience, a knowing, an idea or a bunch of ideas in non-local awareness through the conditioned mind. In this case, we're talking about the scientific conditioning of the mind. Parallel to that, the universe is a human construct based on models such as the quantum field conceived in the human mind, a modification of non-local awareness. Number 12, our true self is non-local awareness, which is self-aware and fundamentally omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. These are again, omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience are human names for non-local existence. It is the same thing as saying we are non-local spiritual beings having a local human experience. Parallel to that, fundamental reality seems to be a consciousness energy field that knows itself as the human experience and many other species-specific experiences. And finally, number 13, if we are non-local beings, then birth and death are human constructs for the on-off switches or fluctuations of timeless awareness in an eternal now. Parallel, if existence is non-local, then birth and death are the ceaseless appearances of and a dissolution of elementary particles or energetic events that appear and disappear as material objects, from the ultramicroscopic to the gigantic. In these 13 points, with some redundancy, I have shown the parallels between consciousness and the quantum field. And I know this is long, this is kind of abstract, this is not so easy to comprehend and can be easily ridiculed as gobbledygook or whatever, scientists say when people don't agree with them, and especially when they're not credentialed as they are. But as we're going to explore quantum biology, quantum metabolism, and quantum body and quantum universe, then your feedback and this dialogue becomes extremely important. So I'd love your feedback, whether you're a professional or not. I think if we continue this conversation, we may all have a deeper understanding of how reality is organized at the most fundamental levels, whether we call it consciousness or the field of possibilities or what do you call it, mathematical space, or whatever you want to call it, Allah, God, Brahman, Ein Sof, it, all of that is just terminology. Knowing reality is the most important thing. And if we know reality, then the models of reality will adjust to our knowing and experience, because that's what they are, models. Mathematical models these days, but also models created by observation, sophisticated observation. But the observation also requires consciousness. It requires an observer, a mode of observing, microscopic or gigantic, telescopic. So it requires an observer, a mode of observing, and that which appears in consciousness as the observed. So this is a new theory, I hope, or an expansion of many theories that are suggesting that local or naive realism as a model doesn't work. So consciousness could be the quantum field and could be guiding the recycling and the evolution of experience that we call the human mind, the human body, and the human universe. Because even other species, other sentient beings, are names given to experiences in the non-local mind, filtering through the human mind, the names, whether they're scientific names or names in English or Latin names. Nam, Roop. Name is Nam, Roop is the appearance of form. This is how the word becomes the flesh. Let me know your thoughts. I know there's some redundancy here, and I apologize for it.